Hi, welcome to my review of The World's End, directed by Edgar Wright, a film that follows a washed-up cool guy as he reunites with his old high school friends to reattempt the ultimate pub crawl. However, after returning to their hometown, they notice something very peculiar.
Good evening, Raymondo. The prodigal son's returned.
Hi. What do you recommend? Beer. One tap water, please.
What? What the hell is this? Why are we even here?
We are here to get annihilated.
You come back and everything's sort of weird.
I suggest you get on your way. It's not us that's changed. It's the town.
The World's End is the third installment in the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy. There's other films being Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and of course now The World's End, which I had no idea those films are even part of a trilogy. I mean, I know they were both directed by Edgar Wright, and they both star Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, but besides that, I had no idea that they were connected in any sort of way. To my surprise and others alike, they are connected because of, well, this whole thing with ice cream, with Cornetto. I'm not going to really get into that because you can just look it up on the Wikipedia page. I mean, it's nothing big. I mean, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, whatever. But besides that, there are some other similarities. One being, of course, the fence hopping gag. You see it in the trailer where Simon Pegg hops over a fence. He does it in every single film. And of course, probably the biggest thing that all three films share is that they all have sort of their supernatural element of their own. Of course, Shaun of the Dead being zombies, Hot Fuzz kind of being this kind of secret organized cult, and this one is robots. Now, to a certain extent, I kind of wish that wasn't given away in the trailer that there are robots, because personally I think that would have been cooler to actually kind of go in the movie and thinking that you're going to see kind of a, a fun comedy about a couple of guys reuniting and, having a pub crawl, drinking, having fun. And then after the first 40 minutes, the movie just flips a switch and then becomes like an invasion movie, which would have been really, really cool to kind of see that unfold. And unfortunately, that was kind of spoiled in the trailer. But anyway, I digress. I want to talk about Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright, I believe, is one of the most underrated filmmakers working today. He's so good because this is a filmmaker that can tackle just many genres. And what's impressive about Edgar Wright is that he can tackle a variety of genres in one film, which is something that I would think would be kind of difficult to pull off, considering how many filmmakers can barely handle one. And I have to say, he pulls it off pretty damn flawlessly. I mean, This Is the End not only contains comedy, but it also contains action and some pretty damn cool sci-fi. And speaking of action and sci-fi, The World's End has some of the best fight choreography I've seen in a very, very long time. It's really cool, and I love the way it's shot. It's not too close, it's not too far back, it's just right. You can see everything perfectly, and it just looks badass. And another thing I love about Edgar Wright is that I love his use of whip pans and crash zooms. I mean, really, for the lack of a better word, they just look really cool. I just love the way how it just makes everything just look awesome. I mean, really, there's not too many filmmakers that can actually make brushing your teeth look cool, And what's great about it is that he never overuses it. It's always the right amount, and it's just perfect, really. And the last thing I want to talk about is the characters. Now, some people have argued that they come off a little one-dimensional. I disagree. I mean, I can kind of see what they're saying to a certain extent. I don't want to really go into that because I don't want to spoil anything, because I do think there is a reason for why they're portrayed in a certain way. But other than that, I really did like the characters. I found myself wanting them to be okay, wanting them to get out alive. There is one moment in the film involving a character and I was kind of like, oh no, what's going to happen to him? I got scared from him, I really did. Overall, The World's End is a great time. However, I do want to warn everyone, I did find it to be the least funny. Now, don't think that The World's End isn't funny, because it is funny. I mean, it does have its laughs and all that, but it's just not as funny as Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. And honestly, I also think it's the weakest. Now, don't get me wrong, because I didn't talk about Shaun of the Dead, I did talk about Hot Fuzz, and how much I love those films, especially Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is possibly my favorite zombie movie of all time. Saying that The World's End is the weakest in the series is a compliment, and I'm going to tell you why. When you have a great film such as The World's End, and you're calling it the worst one, that's a compliment to the trilogy. That's a compliment to the series, because The World's End is a great film. I loved it in its own way. However, it is my least favorite. It's something that I could really find myself revisiting a couple of times. So I'm going to give The World's End a low, but still 4.5 out of 5. As always, I'm Colyn Kirkland, and thanks for watching.